Hello, and welcome to this introduction on cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is a teaching strategy that replaces the old school, face the front, listen to the teacher lecture type model with a student-centered interactive group learning model. It is not simply placing students in groups, but rather it is learning in small groups with some very key elements. The elements of cooperative learning are cooperation or collaboration through small groups of 3 to 5 students using scaffolding so that input is comprehensible. Activities have clear purpose and goals with joint rewards. Students use shared materials and are assigned specific roles with individual accountability, which requires students to work together to share ideas and make connections. This cooperative learning model ultimately results in a learning experience derived through shared responsibility. Although it may look messy and chaotic at times, when done correctly, cooperative learning has many benefits. There are many benefits for both students and teachers in using cooperative learning methodology. The first is interaction. From a language learning perspective, we are using one of the key modes of communication, interpersonal communication. Problem solving and conflict resolution skills are benefits that naturally derive from the use of interpersonal communication. Next, we have experience. Students bring their individual strengths and expertise from life experiences and learning to the fore. This allows students of all language levels to contribute and participate in ways that are both accessible for the individual and that provide growth through peer learning. Working together requires teamwork, which also fosters the encouragement of others and results in individual pride. One perhaps unexpected benefit of cooperative learning is related to classroom management. When implemented correctly, students are motivated, engaged, and learning, and classroom management issues decline. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, vocabulary development. New vocabulary is not learned, but rather it is acquired through multiple exposures. First, a word moves into our receptive vocabulary, meaning we have a basic understanding of its meaning when we hear or see it in writing. But to move it into our expressive vocabularies, meaning we understand its nuanced meaning and can recall and use it in appropriate written and oral contexts, we need many more exposures and opportunities to practice with it. Cooperative learning provides a structured environment for that to happen. As with any methodology, there are of course important factors to keep in mind when planning. These are 3 of the most important considerations for creating cooperative learning lessons. First, dependent groupings. Be sure that the groupings you choose are groupings in which students will be interdependent. That is, no one student will be able to do it all by themselves. And make sure to communicate this to the students to avoid the one kid does all syndrome. Secondly, roles. Roles and responsibilities should be differentiated, scaffolded, and assigned to students at levels that are appropriate for the language requirements of the task. And third, strategies. Choose strategies such as jigsaw and numbered heads together, which also promote interdependence and interpersonal communication to achieve the learning task. There are many cooperative learning strategies one can implement in the classroom. Here are 3 that any teacher can incorporate immediately into their instruction planning. The first is Think, Pair, Share. Think, Pair, Share is a common strategy used for creating accountability, extending thinking, and encouraging discussion. Instead of cold calling on one student to answer a question, all students become responsible for thinking, sharing with a peer, and being prepared to share with the whole class. This strategy reinforces the idea that if a question is important enough to ask, it should be answered by all students, and that everyone is responsible to stay engaged. Secondly, we have Jigsaw. This is a popular strategy that works like a puzzle. Each student within a group is given a piece of a reading, for example, which they must become content experts on and share with the group to come to whole group understanding. It's a great way to both save time and incorporate collaborative learning of content, which can be assigned and differentiated according to language abilities as well. Further, it can be double jigsawed with both individuals and group sharing of information. Lastly, we have numbered heads together. With this strategy, each student in the group is given a number. So for example, a group of 4 would be numbered members 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then each group is also given a number. When it comes time to do whole class question review, the teacher does a double random draw to choose who will answer. First, he or she pulls the student number. So if she pulls a 3, all 3s at the tables have to prepare to answer, and the teacher gives a bit of time for the 3s to double check with their group to make sure they are fully prepared. Then the teacher pulls the group number, let's say now number 6. So that would mean member number 3 from group number 6 must now provide the answer to the class. This strategy requires that all students are prepared with the answer and at the same time holds all members in the group accountable for ensuring that their partners are prepared. It is way more effective than the traditional popsicle stick cold call, which allows everyone but the person called to mentally check out. In conclusion, cooperative learning is a student-centered learning strategy based in interactive, language-rich group learning, which holds all students accountable for the learning process. It's great for English language learners of all levels. It's great for classroom management because students are engaged. And it's great for all learners to grow, both in terms of the content and as individuals learning to navigate the interpersonal challenges of the world. Material for this presentation was gathered from the following resources. I encourage you to use these as a starting point for your own journey on the cooperative teaching path. Thank you.